Have you eaten at Mama Melrose before? It's my first time. I'm very surprised at the review I'm about to give you, so come along with me.
I've never eaten at Mama Melrose. I usually don't eat at any of the Italian restaurants at Disney because where I live, lots and lots of Italian restaurants, a very high Italian populace. Anne Marie and Tina invited me to come here, so I said, sure, I'll try it. I haven't been. And it's beautiful inside. Lots of little fairy lights across the ceiling, grape arbors, very Italian feel, some Italian statues around. There's a semi-open kitchen, so you can get an idea of what they are doing in the kitchen. You really can't see them cooking, but you do get a little opportunity to see what's going on.
This is my first time at Mama Melrose. The decor is beautiful. I usually don't go for the Italian food here because my city is very ethnically Italian, so there's so many great restaurants. It's not my go-to. Everything smells wonderful though. I am getting the vine-ripe tomato and mozzarella, which is always a favorite of mine. And I'm getting the Mama's Italian pasta with chicken. It has artichoke. I think it's fettuccine sauce. So we'll see how that goes. All right, so this is the tomato mozzarella. There's some microgreens on it, a little balsamic. This looks wonderful, and they look like fresh tomatoes. Again, this time of year in upstate New York, they taste like cardboard, so I'm anxious to try this. And Anne-Marie has a meatball with ricotta cheese and some sauce, and is that basil, microgreen basil? That looks really good too. It's a huge meatball. That's like just about the size of her fist.
The appetizer was delicious. The tomatoes were fresh, a lot of zesty flavors in there, balsamic drip. That was delicious. The mozzarella was sweet. It was creamy. It really added to the dish. Microgreens. I would have liked maybe a little bit more basil on it, but I'm just a basil fanatic. So people, I'm sure it was perfectly seasoned.
Now, Anne-Marie, what's yours?
It's a campanale with sun-dried tomatoes, onions, and I asked for extra spinach instead of cauliflower with it.
And how was your meatball?
Meatball was delicious.
Tina's having a steak that looks very good. And I am having the Mama's Italian pasta, a fair amount of cheese on it, and they gave me extra cheese, so I'm a happy camper. This is the chicken. I see some tomatoes, some artichoke, some basil, so I can't wait to taste this. This was surprisingly delightful, as I said. A lot of Italian restaurants at home, it's not my go-to. It's one of Tina's favorites, so we came here for lunch. This dish, huge pieces of artichoke in it, baked or cooked whole cloves of garlic. The chicken was wonderful, a nice light sauce on it, not too heavy, not too acidy. Very, very good meal. The only problem is I should have eaten half my appetizer or didn't get an appetizer because I'm stuffed and there's all that food left. Problems. Just problems. And how was yours, Anne-Marie?
Mine is very delicious. Very nice flavors, nice blends. I enjoyed it very much.
I'm on the Skyliner heading back to Pop because there's a winter weather advisory at home, which means we're going to have snow for a while, and it's nice and sunny here, so I'm going to the pool for a few hours. We have the dining package for Rose and Crown for the fireworks, but the weather looks really iffy. If it rains, the fireworks will probably go on. If there's thunder and lightning, nobody can give us an answer. Although on the Skyliner, if there's lightning within 6 miles, they shut down the Skyliner and you have to take the bus. Now at Hollywood Studios, it's not a huge deal because the Skyliner is right next to the buses. At Epcot, the Skyliner's in the back and the buses are in the front.
We ended up canceling our Rose and Crown fireworks package. Thunderstorms were in the forecast. We'd seen Luminous twice, and honestly, if you're on a Skyliner resort, having to get to the front of the park and wait for a bus just wasn't my cup of tea. We did manage to view the new area at Epcot in the darkness, and it was beautiful. It's really something to see at night, so make sure you do that. Got pictures with Walt the Dreamer. Since this is my last night, tomorrow is a very short day at Animal Kingdom. I'm going to include that video here because it's going to be the safari and lunch. So I'm going to combine that with this video as well. Last day, Flight of Passage rope drop, then the safari, and the animals were amazing. 2 okapis were out and moving, not hiding. The black rhino was up and moving. I saw the hippos out of the water in the first section, and then in the second section I actually saw one moving along the bottom of the water. Painted dogs were out. When do you ever see them moving around? Then the elands, and the giraffe were close together. No crown of flowers, but still a beautiful picture. And then there was this one giraffe that came so close we really had to stop the truck, and he kept getting closer and closer and closer to the point where I couldn't get his whole head in the frame, and then he was close enough to see drool coming down from his mouth. The wildebeest just frolicking and running and finally settling down. You never see that either. The white rhinos were up and moving. And then I saw a water buck, the white on its tail. Never noticed the heart-shaped nose. Got to see Cora. She was out and about. The cheetahs were close enough to get a good picture of them. Simply amazing. And then the goats. The keepers were there feeding the goats at the end. So the safari was just a phenomenal way to end my trip. Of course, when you leave the safari, you have to go through the gorilla trail. Now, hippos, look at how close those ducks are. And the hippo could care less. The ducks are just swimming right around them. And then the baby gorilla staring at me, and then wanted to get a little closer, then got a little scared and backed off. Just simply adorable. And Mom was taking good care. Baby, I think, said something to Mom like, those people are bugging me, let's get a little farther away. And so Mom was accommodating for that. So Mom was going to take Baby just a little bit farther away. I love how the baby just grabs on for the ride, so moves just a little bit away. Eventually the baby wanted to go a little farther. So this is on the one side where you've got the family group. Through the window you can see a lot. They like the people. This is the bachelor group, and I just love his expression. And I could sit and watch the gorillas all day. You know that about me by now. But this gorilla was just so entranced with his leaves there. He was going to eat his leaves. The bachelor group, they're on the other side of the bridge. So you've got the family group on one side through the glass, but as you go around the corner, you can also see them on the right. And a lot of people don't stop to look at them because the male gorillas, the bachelor group, are usually pretty obvious. But you can see some cool things with the family group on the right side. Here was another gorilla. And again, this bamboo, they're just having a great time chewing. I don't know how appetizing it is. I don't think it's appetizing. You know, I like California Grill. Boom. The gorillas, They like their bamboo and leaves. I've seen them get treats before, birthday cake, things like that, but they seem pretty satisfied with this. All in all, wonderful trip.
So I got the big sampler at Flame Tree Barbecue. I didn't have any breakfast this morning, and who knows how long I'll be stuck at the airport. So it has chicken and pulled pork and ribs, coleslaw and beans. I just asked for some extra barbecue sauce. And this is where I'm sitting. I have a lovely view of Mount Everest. And this will be my last meal here. Well, I just had my last meal here at Animal Kingdom. My favorite park. I like to make this my last park of the trip. It's been a fabulous trip, a solo trip. Yeah, I met up with Anne-Marie and Tina for some dinners. We did some parks together. It was really, really wonderful. Flame Tree Barbecue, I had the full combo. The ribs were outstanding. Just very, very moist, flavorful. Really, really loved the ribs. The chicken was good. Moist, tender, average barbecue chicken. The pulled pork, I was a little disappointed in the amount of the pulled pork, although the flavor was very good. I think there was less pulled pork on the combo platter than there is on the pulled pork mac and cheese, which is a very small serving of mac and cheese, but I think it had more pulled pork. I got like that much pulled pork. It was good. They had a little extra barbecue sauce. That screaming you here is Mount Everest in the background. Coleslaw also is tasty. I could have used a little more dressing on it. It was pretty much raw vegetables with just a hint of dressing on it. I didn't get dessert. Probably should have, but I didn't. And now I'm ready to run out of the park, back to the resort, pick up my luggage, and get to my flight, which surprisingly is on time, even though there is a storm at my home airport. So I think things are good to go. If you've enjoyed this series, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. I really appreciate that when you do. Hit the bell so you are notified when new videos come out. And last but not least, never grow up.